Hi everyone, it's Nicole here today with a pop-up card comparison comparing the new Mama Elephant 3D pop-up card, and then a few months ago Fawn brought out the scalloped box card pop-up. It's kind of a mouthful. So I'm going to be comparing the two today. I've had tons of requests from you guys wanting to see them side by side, kind of see what they do. Here's a look. I created two cards. All of the stamps and dies are from Mama Elephant, but this is the Fawn scalloped box card pop-up. This is all of the components. I die cut every single thing from this pop-up box card. So we've got the actual box card pop-up at the top. Over on the left are the inserts. Then we've got the panels. All of those white die cut pieces and the dies by them are the panels that fit either the bottom panels or the top panels. The pop-up here for Fawn has this cute little like stakes and a clothesline, I guess I call it. Banners in two different sizes. We've got the small and the large in either the kind of diamond shape or the flag shape. It ends up being more of a triangle, and then we've got some little hearts and stars. So this is everything you get in the scalloped box card pop-up from Fawn. Here is a look at what I created with those dies. I did not quite use everything that I die cut. I didn't use the bigger banners and things, but you can see that I used the panels. This is kind of what it looks like. I did use the cute little clothesline and the little banner pieces that go on there, and I will show putting this box card together here in a little bit. So you can just kind of see how it goes together. Both cards are going to go together exactly the same. Next, I want to share you all the components of the Mama Elephant 3D pop-up card. Again, we've got our base card component up there at the top. You will need two of those for both of the cards to make the box. Then we've got the insert pieces. The biggest difference between the inserts is this one has grass or the stitched hillside, where Fawn's is straight across, fits inside the box, and you're not really going to see that. We've got the smaller panel below that is the same thing that fits the sides of the box. There is a fence as an accessory here. Just like Fawn, we've got all the insert pieces. They do not have stitching. Fawn's does. These are just straight. We've got a couple of smaller rectangles and some thought bubbles and some hearts. So very, very similar. A few minor differences, and I'm going to tell you guys right now, the main box itself, exactly the same size. The only difference between the two is Fawn's has score lines and Mama Elephant has stitched score lines, which I think makes the box a little less, I hate to say less stable because I haven't had any trouble, but with those stitched lines, it can make it maybe a little flimsier. Like I said, I have not had any difficulty with that. And then the other big difference is Fawn's rectangle panels are stitched, Mama Elephant's are not. So we're going to go into the creation of these two cards. I decided to go ahead and leave in the coloring for my friends who love the coloring process, especially because there are lots of fun critters here. So I thought I would keep that in for you guys so you could really see what I did to put these together. I did do all my die cutting off camera. I used the Gemini to die cut everything, mostly because it was super convenient to lay out different pieces of cardstock on the large Gemini cutting mats and run it through. I could die cut lots of things all at once, and it just kind of sped up the process since I was die cutting everything that comes in both the Fawn scalloped box card pop-up and the Mama Elephant 3D pop-up card. So here are my images, as I mentioned, and I'm going to quickly tell you what everything's from. All of these bunnies that you see here, the banner that says Happy Birthday, both are birthday cards too, I want to mention that. All of this is from Hippity Hop. Colored all of those bunnies exactly the same. The birds are all from Tea with Friends. You guys have probably heard me mention this if you've seen any of my past videos featuring these birds and Mama Elephant. I love these birds. They go with everything, and what makes these super fun is you can put them on clear acetate or something in pop-up cards or whatever, and it looks like they're flying, which I absolutely adore. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that as we put the box cards together, but I love those birds. They go with so many different stamp sets. My banner here, that's also from Hippity Hop. Really quickly, I have had a couple of questions about, can you use, let's say Lawn Fawn images with the Mama Elephant box, or Mama Elephant images with the Lawn Fawn box, and for that matter, any stamps and dies that you have in your collection, as long as they fit within your box. They're not huge images. I would say scale-wise, you probably want to stick to something similar to this, but you guys, as long as your images fit within the footprint of the pop-up box, you can use whatever you want. There is no right or wrong. This is a pop-up box card, and while I am showing Mama Elephant images here, you can use whatever you want. Maybe you have some super cute Avery L or Neat and Tangled. Guys, anything. I'm off the top of my head, I'm kind of at a loss for the moment, but anything you have, you can use. So if it fits within the footprint of these awesome pop-up box cards, you can use it. I decided to kind of go easy here today. You can put as much in these as you can fit. I tend to like to go very full. I like a really kind of jam-packed scene, I guess I want to say. But you can go as much or as little as you want. You can put as many inserts in these cards as you want. Again, for easy purposes of a comparison video, I kept it to 3 inserts each, but you can fit as many as you can get in there. So think of it, I always think of the insert pieces as layers. They are going to be the layers. If you are creating a flat card, they are your layers. And if you get too many, maybe things are on top of each other and you're just losing a lot of that scene. I generally stick to 3 or 4, but you could do, like I said, as many as you want. So coloring here, kind of kept it easy. I kept within a color palette that I've used a lot lately, but like I said, this video is more about the comparison and the creation of pop-up box cards than the coloring, but I wanted to leave this in just for a very smooth from start to finish video, as well as a comparison video. Maybe you know all about pop-up box cards and you just like to see different ideas. This could be for you as well. I'm going to finish coloring the last few little pieces here. I do want to mention, as hard as I tried to know how many images I needed right off the bat, I ended up pulling a few additional things, stamping a couple of little extra birds for one. And then I was looking for trees. I really felt like my Mama Elephant pop-up box card with the little bear with the banner and things, and all the cute little animals with instruments, it needed something else, and I was having a really hard time figuring out what that was, and I really wanted trees. So I grabbed some trees and also a fire hydrant from the Sunday Stroll stamp set, which is quite a couple of years old at the least, I think. But that's what I love. You can mix and match with whatever you have. So that's where those trees are from. I will not show that part in the video. I apologize about that. It was one of those kind of last minute decisions of something that I really felt I needed to add in to make that scene complete. And you will find as you're making these pop-up box cards, you can guess how many things you want for your card, but sometimes you get down to it and it really requires more than you think. So just kind of whatever is comfortable to you. We are going to grab the coordinating dies for this Animal Parade, for Hippity Hop, for Tea with Friends, and also Sunday Stroll, and die cut all of our images. I like to try to die cut as many as I can all at once, and then we are going to start putting them together. We're going to start with the Lawn Fawn. This is the older of the two pop-up box cards that I am comparing. Again, here's a look at all the components. Here's a look at the finished card. And I am going to share the easiest way I have found to put these together. We're going to start with the two long panels. I am scoring those little tabs. That's where the only adhesive is going to be to put this box card together. I like to use score tape. I'm going to put that on both. It's nice and strong. We're going to only peel off the backing on one and line this up to make it into one long strip. So here's what it's going to look like. You need to determine where the back of your box is going to be and don't fold that down. You want to keep that straight. The other three sides, the two short sides and the front long side, go ahead and use your bone folder to score those down. I'm going to put my score tape on the tabs for the inserts now. On one of the short sides of the box, we are going to go ahead and start adhering our inserts. And I'm also scoring these on the score lines as well. So we're going to take these, and I like to line them up kind of with the top of the box. You're going to see it's a little bit different with the Mama Elephant ones, but I'm lining these up with that top scored line. So one of the short sides is where I'm attaching all of these, and I'm only attaching them to one side. And then it's really easy to use that scored line as a guide to line them all up. So I want to make sure they are all straight. I've removed the backing paper from the other tab, and I'm going to fold the other short side over to grab those, and they are perfectly lined up. I promise you guys, this is the easiest way to assemble one of these boxes. And then I'm going to remove the backing paper from the other tab, go ahead and lay my box over and attach it. We are ready to assemble. So some of this I've left in, some I haven't. I'm going to share a few little tips and tricks, things I like to do to help put my box together. For this one, we're going to go ahead and ink some panels. The Mama Elephant one, I went ahead and die cut from colorful cardstock. You could do whatever you want. A combination of the two does not matter. What I like is I use these little reverse tweezers. They are my best friend when putting together a dimensional box, or anytime I need to hold something in place that has liquid adhesive. Because liquid adhesive is going to take a little bit to dry, I like to use these to hold that in place. I'm going to start with my sentiment banner and the bunnies that are holding it, and we are going to pop these in place on one of those inserts. And I'm just kind of using my hand here and a combination, and we're going to hold one side down at a time. I'm going to make sure that's lined up though. And then just kind of let that sit there until the adhesive dries. The smaller of the inserts, and this is going to go for either box, is going to be the one that you're going to use for any of the upper panels of the box. And I guess before we get to that part, I am going to go ahead and adhere a few more things. I went ahead and stamped all these bunnies, really didn't know where I was going to put them all, so I'm going to kind of lay them out, determine exactly which tabs, which panels they're going on. I do want to assemble the clothesline, and these little die cuts are so delicate. I think they're really tricky. I think it's really hard to assemble without tweezers, for me anyway. But it's a really cute look, and I think it's really fascinating how it works with this card. And you guys, mix and match. If you have both pop-up box cards and you want to use the Fence from Mama Elephant with the scalloped edge of the Lawn Fawn box, and vice versa, go for it. This little clothesline, you could use, it's Lawn Fawns, but you could use it with your Mama Elephant pop-up box. You could use anything like this. So really, if you have both, mix and match. Maybe sometimes you feel like that scalloped edge for a box, and other times you want the straight edge of the Mama Elephant box. There's really no right or wrong. Now I folded all my little banners over the clothesline here, and then I'm going to put little tabs of glue on the very bottom and again hold this in place. What I find fascinating is when this box card closes, all of this folds down flat. And the other fantastic thing about these pop-up box cards, they are standard A2 sized when folded flat, meaning they're going to fit in an A2 sized envelope for mailing, which is awesome. So very easy to mail, doesn't require a special envelope, which I appreciate. We all know postal rates can be kind of crazy at times, especially if you're trying to use a padded envelope or something like that. So to be able to use a standard envelope is just amazing. So here are my little clear acetate pieces. So many questions about this, you guys. They are left over from shaker cards most of the time. I have a scrap file that I save especially for this. They are nothing, they're not actually a product. They are just little thin strips I have cut from acetate that I attach little critters like the birds to with glue dots. I put some more glue dots on the other end of these little clear picks, and then I pop them on to different layers of the box. And what is great is because it's a clear material, it looks like that bird is flying in the air, which I love. To make my white little panels a little more interesting, I did ink them with cracked pistachio Distress Oxide ink, not all the way, mostly just on the bottom edge. I'm going to have 3 of those on the front 3 panels that flop over and then 1 on the back. And from here, we can really go ahead and add the rest of our images throughout the design. Even going to use some of these cute little hearts. Aren't those darling? If you used the bigger banners that hang from the clothesline, I think the hearts or star die cuts would go on those really well. I tried it with the small ones and they're just not really scaled right. I think maybe some little confetti pieces or something similar would be really cute though. Now this bird appears to be standing, so I don't really want him to fly, but I want him to appear to be standing on the banner. And so again, I'm going to use a clear pick because that works perfectly for that. So cute. We've got little bunnies that we're going to decorate the side panels. I'm a big fan of decorating the side panels. You would not have to, but I want when my card recipient opens this card and pops it up for everything to be decorated. For me, that's really fun. And that means even decorating this back panel back here, this little bunny sitting is going to actually be sitting right there on the ground. I kind of positioned him so hopefully he's visible a little bit when that box card's popped up. Got some cute little guys over here. We're going to do another little heart on this back panel. We'll do some little stars on another side panel. So much fun. You can see here how it's just building the card, filling it in, adding all of those little details that really makes it special. I even drew in some blades of grass with one of my kind of aqua or mint colored Copic markers. The G02 marker, it really matches this mint color cardstock and cracked pistachio distress ink perfectly. The final thing is one of those larger panels then I go ahead and put on the front panel of the card. You'll see that in the finished card photos, and it's going to have a happy birthday greeting so that when the recipient opens up a flat box or the flat card, they're going to still see a greeting. I'll show you that a little bit later. So here's a look again at the Mama Elephant 3D pop-up card elements, and then the card I made with these. And this, of course, features more of the animal parade type look and also some of the birds from Tea with Friends, and then the trees and fire hydrant from Sunday Stroll. Again, just like before, we're going to make one long strip. I've scored it on on those sides. We're only going to fold down the 2 short sides and 1 long side, which will be the front of the box. Here's a look at that panel. I did the same one for both. They're just on different colors. So this is from the Surprise Sentiments Mama Elephant stamp set. And while the box is flat, if you want to, you can totally add any of your little panels. I went ahead and did that. I knew exactly what I was doing here. Sometimes I know what I'm doing, so I go ahead and do it while it's flat. Other times I need to put it together after I've assembled the box because I'm just not quite sure where everything's going to go. But this is a great time to add any of those panels if you want to. I like on those short sides to trim down my little short grass or hillsides and cut them in half, so I'm only using 1/2 of that design. Let's go ahead and put our inserts in. We're going to use the grass this time, and this is going to stick up. This is one of the big differences between the two boxes, is it's got the grass or that hill. I'm lining up the tab with the score line for the pop-up box, meaning that grass is going to be popped up, or if you use the stitched hillside, that will be popped up too, a little higher than the front of the box. But just like before, we're going to line up that tab area. We're going to fold these all over, remove our score tape backing paper, and fold the other short side over to pick that other side of the tabs up. And you can see perfectly every single time the easiest way to put these boxes together. I don't know how I did it before. I had a lot of frustration before. This is the best way to do this. Now, the fence can go anywhere. I love this little fence piece. I think this is maybe my favorite part of the Mama Elephant 3D pop-up box card, besides the tabs that have the grass. And that's another thing I do want to mention. Those are interchangeable too. If you want to use these grass inserts with the Lawn Fawn card, go for it. They're going to fit. These box cards, not kidding, exactly the same size. So exciting for me, because I think if you want to use the scallop edge of the Lawn Fawn card, and you want to use a grassy border in it, I've die cut grass borders and put them in my Lawn Fawn box card before. Now I don't even have to do that step. So if I use the Mama Elephant tabs, which is so exciting. It's the little things that excite me. But they're interchangeable. I love that. Really, really fun. Just like before, I'm putting everything together. Now, full disclosure, I was not thinking when I picked this stamp set. Everything but my cute little bear, because he's holding that banner, fits within the box. I think I've mentioned this in other videos, but haven't mentioned it here yet. Anything, if you want this to fit in an A2 sized envelope, your images have to not stick up higher than that back of the card. A little bit, that little bit there is okay, but anything higher is not going to fit in an A2 envelope. So because of that, I had to adhere my bear kind of down a little bit, which I ended up actually really liking. But at the time I was really annoyed because I had not even considered that he is so tall that I couldn't really have him standing up high, because the banner then would be sticking up way higher than the back of the card and won't fit within the design of the box. But it ended up working out. But just a little tip, when you're making these, make sure that nothing sticks up higher than the back of the card box, or that back panel of the box, because otherwise it's just not going to fit in your envelope, and that's kind of frustrating. Now this is what I was talking about, the little side panel grass pieces. This is another big difference between the two, is that you have these options, but again, you could use them on either one. But I cut them in half because I think it gives you a much cleaner look and it fits within the confines of the box card much better. I like to cut them in half. You can save all those other pieces then for other projects. I just slip them back in the envelope that my dies are stored in, and then I have all these great little pieces that can be used for something else. So any of my excess pieces that you saw me use here, I went ahead and just slipped in an envelope pocket, and I can save them for another card. Now this can be a thought bubble. There's the little ovals that go with this to make it a thought bubble, but I made it a cloud. I thought it was a cute little cloud in the background. We're going to add one of these little hearts, also from the Mama Elephant 3D pop-up card. We're going to kind of grab the rest of our images. Let's just fill in the rest of this design. I love balancing the penguin on the beach ball. You do not have to do this if you don't want to, but I think he's so cute on there. I think this little penguin is just darling. And then little birds here and there just really fill in. This is where I think I had to maybe stamp a couple extra birds because I used so many on my other card. There are 6 birds in Tea with Friends, but it wasn't enough. I felt like both needed plenty of little birds. The bird standing on the fence, he was attached with one of those little clear acetate picks that I call them, just those little strips that I make. And here are my extra pieces, extra birds, the trees from Sunday Stroll that are going to just be perfect here in the background. I love these. Kind of sticking up there behind the fence, fills it in, just adds so much interest. The fire hydrant, even though it's a cat, not a dog on this little panel, I still like the fire hydrant. I thought it was a fun little pop of color, so went ahead and used it. Couple little birds on this front panel. This is where I would write the greeting on both cards. Part of the reason that front fall down panel is not completely full of images and text is because this is a fantastic place to write a little greeting to the recipient and sign your name. You could also do that and make a front panel. There's no right or wrong. This is just kind of how I like to do it. Get these birds where they're going. And there is my pop-up box card. There it is, flat with a little label. When you open it up and pop down all these little tabs. Look how cute this is. So much fun. These are addictive to make, super fun to make, and I think just super fun for recipients. So here's a look at the other one, the Lawn Fawn one. There it is, folded flat. In fact, I'll fold them both flat and lay them together here so you can see these are exactly the same size. I love it. So both of them, same size, fit in an A2 envelope. And I hope this has helped you guys. I hope this comparison has helped you guys kind of see the differences between the two boxes and maybe make a choice about which one you want to purchase. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for this comparison video featuring the Lawn Fawn and Mama Elephant pop-up box cards. The supplies I used to create these cards are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here are a couple more videos featuring pop-up box cards that you might be interested in. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and we'll see you next time.